I have relinquished my status as Elder God to return to Earth and lead you all to battle against our old adversaries. We must act now. We must stop this deadly alliance.
Alright, by the early 2000s, Mortal Kombat had definitely suffered from overexposure. A dated MK4, the frustratingly difficult Mortal Kombat mythologies, and the awful release of Mortal Kombat Special Forces left a bad taste in people's mouth. So at a time when the video game landscape was changing with newer consoles and the decline of arcades, Mortal Kombat had to change in direction. Mainstays at Midway, including series co-creator John Tobias, had already left the team. So MK's future for the first time ever was very up in the air. And then we got this. A new Mortal Kombat was announced. A series that had up to this point played in the 2D plane and kind of 2D with MK4 was now in full 3 dimensions. Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance was released in 2002, and next to MK9 is one of the most important, not the best, but most important games in the franchise's history. Because the gameplay is in 3D now, it feels entirely different. And as I continue, I'd like to remind you to like and subscribe before I explain why. So, special moves don't always function the way you would think they would in a traditional Mortal Kombat game, and that's because of the 3D environment. And some changes were made to people's special moves as well. Sub-Zero no longer has his normal slide, he has sort of a charge now. And have fun trying to land a spear in this game, as the rate of a spear getting countered is significantly higher now than it ever was before. You can just sidestep it. Also, dial-up combos from MK3 and MK4 were very different now. Speaking of combos, the most important change to the gameplay and combo system was the addition of fighting styles. Every character now had 2 real-life martial arts styles and 1 weapon style, each with its own complete moveset. And to aid this, a move list was added for the first time in the pause menu to help you learn how to play with each character. Doing combos felt satisfying for most characters, and pulling off a combo that chained all 3 fighting styles could look disastrous in some moments for your opponent. While the new system was very refreshing and much needed for MK, admittedly it did have some drawbacks. First, the game regressed to having 1 fatality per character for the first time since Mortal Kombat 1, as in the first 1992 Mortal Kombat game. I hate having to do that now. It's not a major deal, but it's still kind of disappointing, and not all of these fatalities look particularly good either. The second, certain moves such as sweeps and uppercuts remain in the game, but the button combinations to pull them off don't function the same way for everyone. And you don't do them in the manner that you would in a traditional Mortal Kombat game at this point. Down 2 was not a pop-up in this game, an issue that thank God was fixed in the next entry. And then there's the third issue that actually caused me a lot of problems with my friends when I was growing up. This is a major complaint, though I don't mind it personally as my main was Sub-Zero. A weapons feature that had been added to the game is that you can now impale your opponent, draining their health as it's happening. Now, this already sounds mildly annoying that you could do such a thing in a fighting game, until you realize that only a select few characters can do this. Then it becomes infuriating. It's a very cheap and desperate tactic to catch someone slipping and get a stab in, and then run away until the round was over. And you had to make sure you pick the character that can do this, which doesn't help. Yeah, people didn't like this mechanic very much. Getting away from the gameplay, let's look at the story, which has already become more of a staple in MK games at this point. The FMVs of Mortal Kombat 4 were gone and replaced by images and voice narration from Raiden, explaining what happened with that specific character you beat the game with. And for those who didn't know, after Quan Chi had failed to trap Scorpion in the Netherrealm, he found a portal and escaped, accidentally discovering the Dragon King's lost army. Needing to help reanimate them, he partners up with Shang Tsung and 2 plot to seize control over Earthrealm and Outworld. First, they had to get rid of their biggest opposition. They offed Shao Kahn, which was later revealed to be an imposter in the next game. And then they offed Liu Kang, in perhaps one of the most shocking events in Mortal Kombat up to this point. Seriously, Liu Kang had been the hero of MK. He beat everybody. He beat Shang Tsung, he beat Shinnok, he beat Quan Chi, he beat Shao Kahn. That's just what Liu Kang does. He wins. That's what made the Deadly Alliance so, for lack of a better term, deadly. They actually accomplished their goals. Hell, technically they won in all of this and no one was able to stop them. At least until the intro of the next game. As far as the roster is concerned, you had Kung Lao make his big triumphant return, unless you played Mortal Kombat Gold on Dreamcast, that is. Katana, Scorpion, Old Man Sub-Zero, Sonya, Jax, Johnny, Kano, Cyrax, most of your favorites were back in this game, minus Melina and Sector, of course, and they all had some pretty cool character designs. Except Reptile, unless you're into the whole lizard ninja look. But we also got new characters that were pretty cool in their own right. Kenshi, Li Mei, Movado, Natara. Oh, and we got Su Hao too. Also, this game gave us one of the most badass Raiden designs in Mortal Kombat history. The roster wasn't bad at all. It's a shame we just really wouldn't see a lot of the more newer characters from this game until Mortal Kombat 1. And I mean the 2023 Mortal Kombat game. And then the actual arenas for this game look incredible as well. I've said before how the environments on Mortal Kombat 4 are pretty underrated and how well they looked in comparison to other fighting games. It's actually a shame that the character models in that game don't hold up to the environments, but Deadly Alliances doesn't look that bad either. A lot of them have their own personality in the game as well. The Acid Bath is a stage that I specifically want to see brought back at some point. And the amount of detail in Shang Tsung's palace as well as the outside of it look amazing with all the souls just flying past you as you fight. And that has to be the world's largest soul NATO. Not to mention stages like Goro's Tomb, the Wuxi Academy, or the Lin Kuei Temple, these stages looked incredible. This game also had a ton of extras. You earned coins by playing the game and then you went into the crypt to unlock stuff with them. You could also complete Conquest Mode, which was basically a training mode at this point. But the game also gave you a ton of behind the scenes content and concept art, which, as an artist myself, I was perfectly fine with this. And it also had videos from MK's past and short trailers and tests.
This week on Cooking with Scorpion, learn about chopping, tenderizing, chopping, cake decorating, and chopping.
Most importantly, they had a history of video, which was pretty cool at the time, and a making of video. The making of MK video was actually interesting as hell, with a behind the scenes look at a single day of Ed Boon's work life. It actually inspired me to go to college for game animation. I'm sure you can find the video somewhere on YouTube. For a franchise that was getting dangerously close to circling the drain, it can't be stated enough how much this game actually saved Mortal Kombat. People still liked the franchise, yes, but it was sort of becoming dated and people were getting kind of with MK, especially by the late 90s and early 2000s. Boy, was this game needed. I loved this so much growing up. I actually believed for the longest time that it was the best of this era, which isn't true. That would be the next entry in the franchise. But for a new launching pad for MK, this was an amazing start. But this is just my opinion. How do you feel about Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance's place in the history of the franchise? Let me know in the comments below. In any event, like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And you all have a good one, and I'm out.